So there was recently this outrage because Candace Owens was apparently confronted by someone who claimed that there are more than two genders, and this person, I think it was a woman, although these days you don't know anymore, claimed that these Native American tribes, these indigenous tribes, had more than five genders. Or had five genders, something like that. And it was also not every single tribe that believed in something like that. But the example she used was that because Candace was probably saying that there are only two genders, and this person told Candace, sorry, no, there was something called a two spirit, and Candace, as a response, said that we shouldn't listen to these old ancient knowledge, this old ancient knowledge of these American tribes, because all they did apparently was smoking weed, getting high, and eating each other. No idea if this is true, but this is what the outrage is about at the moment. And I wanted to use this opportunity to talk about this whole topic about these Native American tribes, because this is something I wrote down 2 months ago, and I think now is the perfect opportunity because I came across this article with this singer Jason Mraz. I don't know how this is pronounced, M-R-A-Z. And he came, I think it was last year or maybe even this year, at the beginning of this year, he came out as bisexual, and I applaud him first of all for not coming out as pansexual. I made another video here on TikTok, and I basically argued that there are only two genders, and as a result pansexuality can't exist, there's only bisexuality. But unfortunately, this video got banned on for hate speech here on TikTok, so you will have to go to other social media sites like X, or I haven't uploaded it on YouTube yet, but I will in the coming weeks. Then you can see my whole argument about this topic, but I still wanted to mention this because it is related, because in that article where I read this, where he came out as bisexual, by the way, still congratulations, because I fell into that rabbit hole of how many people in Hollywood are actually bisexual. I mean, there must be because of the casting couch, but it is hard for a man to come out, because a lot of people then don't take these men seriously anymore. Because I'm just saying, I really don't want to make fun of Jason Mraz. I actually respect him for that. And still, there are some things that kind of like were stupid still when he came out, because on usatoday.com he said that his ex-wife helped him figuring out that he was bi, because at first he wasn't sure, because he liked men, he thought he must be gay. I don't know why he would think that, because I mean, he's more than 10 years older than me, he's from another generation, but still, isn't something like bisexuality, isn't that known? Wasn't it already known? How can you not know that when he likes both men and women, that he's bi? I don't get it, but apparently he did know, and in order to figure that out, he was like, I'm quoting him, he was like, wow, does that mean I'm gay? And his wife laid it out for him. He recalled to Billboard. Billboard? Okay, USA Today wrote it, but apparently he talked to Billboard, I don't know. And she told him, why do I always mention all these details? That's why my videos are so long, sorry. Because that was irrelevant. My script sucks, sorry. But yeah, getting to the point. She told him that what he is experiencing, being attracted to both men and women, is apparently called two-spirit, which is what Native Americans called someone who can love both men and a woman. And he responded that he really liked that term. But I have to say, if I were a woke person, if I were a leftist, and okay, sometimes I still think I'm a leftist, but I'm not one of the crazy ones who believe that there are 70 genders, I really wouldn't use these Native American tribes as an example, because, as I said, not all of them, but many of them believe there are five genders, and it was basically like this. It was basically man, woman, masculine woman, feminine man, and two-spirit, which was basically heterosexual man, heterosexual woman, gay man, lesbian, and bisexual person. Although there is a possibility, because there are tomboys, which means women or girls who act in a manly way but are still heterosexual, they could maybe they were also like seen as this gender called, like, I don't know if it was called like that gender that was seen as masculine woman. Like, for instance, there are also masculine gay men where you don't even notice that they are gay, basically exceptions within exceptions. And these gay men could then also be seen as the feminine men, but maybe they're also seen as the masculine men. This is something I'm really not sure about. So I don't want to like spread misinformation just pointing that out, but it still doesn't destroy my argument that I'm going to make, because in the end, when you think about it, because I also found then out that they didn't want to see, for instance, a tomboy woman, a masculine woman that behaves masculine, with a masculine heterosexual man, because they were both with masculine energy. Like, they didn't complement each other. What these Native American tribes wanted was the feminine and the masculine complementing each other. And I'm not even offended by that, because I also often point out in my videos that men and women are born differently. There are brain scans that prove that. So I get their way of thinking. I'm not offended by that. But I'm just saying, when you, as a leftist who is, like, would you agree with that? I don't think so. Like, you would totally approve of two masculine gay men being a couple. You would totally approve of a woman who is not feminine, who is more masculine, being in a heterosexual relationship with a masculine man. But these Native American tribes, they frowned upon that. They didn't like that. And that's what I mean. Using those Native American tribes as some woke example for your woke agenda, sorry, you can't use that. It doesn't make sense, because these people were actually pretty restrictive in their way of thinking. And this is something else I wanted to point out, because and sometimes I wonder, are leftist people actually woke? Because, I mean, of course, I'm not denying when you say that gender is socially constructed and you invent 70 genders or whatever number that is, then you are woke. But in the end, we have this horseshoe theory, where back in the day conservative parents said that when their son plays with dolls, they didn't like that, and they said their son turns out to be gay when he does that, or they were shaming their sons and were saying, you are becoming a fag when you play with dolls, stop with that. And you leftists, you do the same, but what you do, like I saw these YouTube documentaries or YouTube reports, like videos, it was probably on TV too, where parents, like woke, liberal, lefty parents, had like a son, and this son liked playing with dolls, liked wearing dresses, was more feminine in his behavior. This is something that reminds me of myself, and that's why it is so important for me to talk about that, because unfortunately these lefty parents, what they're doing as a response, they're giving these boys, and also girls, but in this example, boys, puberty blockers, and then their hormones, so they could become transgender. And this is the same. Like these conservative parents back in the day who said, or maybe even today, say that their son will turn out to be a fag when he plays with dolls. You basically say he plays with dolls and he will turn out to be trans. You're making the exact same mistake. And I think it's important to call this a stupidity out, because my life would have been ruined if that would have happened to me. Because I also had this phase for years. I wanted to be a girl. I wanted to wear dresses. I played with Barbies all the time, and I liked these feminine shows like geared towards women, like Sailor Moon. Although many boys watch that too, but still, you get my point. And if I had been put on puberty blockers or female hormones, have been a nightmare, because I like my male body, and I know it sounds weird saying that you like your male body, because that should be, how do you say, a given, should be normal, but since people are crazy nowadays, I have to point it out that way. And my point is just, also, like, this entire video is about the Native American tribes so restrictive, because as I said, while they had 5 different genders, in the end they still wanted the masculine and the feminine to complement each other. They didn't like it when 2 masculine gay men would have been a couple, because it would be 2 masculine beings. That's not something they like. And you leftists, you have become as restrictive as the conservatives you hate. You think because your girl or your son acts atypical to their sex, they must be transgender, and this is just totally wrong.